Joining me now, Heather Headley, currently starring on Broadway in the title role in Aida.
Yes.
Welcome, Heather.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the songs that you're singing in the show tonight. First, He Touched Me.
He Touched Me from Jet the Cat, a song that Barbara Streisand has had recorded a couple of years ago. However, I tried not to listen to her recording and to anybody else's, so I'm kind of going into it on my own right now. So we'll see.
Doing your fresh interpretation.
Yeah.
Did you choose the song?
I did not. It was they asked me to do it, so they sent it to me. So we'll see what happens. I think it'll be weird because after I'll listen to her recording, of course, and I'll be like, oh, dang it, what did I do? So hopefully it'll be okay.
I'm sure it'll be fabulous.
Yes.
You're also performing a number from
Aida. Yes, I'm performing with Adam. We're going to do our love song number, which is Elaborate Lives. So I'll sing a duet with him.
How is it? Do you enjoy working with him?
I do, very, very much. You know, I think when we first began the show and they started bringing people in and they said Adam Pascal is going to be your leading man, I guess I thought at first, you know, this guy from Rent, he's going to be a big rocker, and it's just going to be this guy that, you know, we won't get along maybe, but it'll be fine. And it's funny that now I'm just desperately in love with him. And we love each other dearly, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love working with him, and so it's been easy to create chemistry with him, and you know, he's kind of cute too, so that kind of helps. But it's been my pleasure working with him.
Did you always know that you were going to be on Broadway? Was that your dream?
No, it was not. I grew up in the Caribbean in Trinidad. And Broadway was not even in my scheme of things. It wasn't in my picture. This has just been a wonderful journey. You know, just this wonderful route that I've taken. I am still recording. I have an album that's going to be out next year with RCA Records. And so it's just, you know, pop R&B album. And that's what I was going to do, and that's what I am going to do. But it was wonderful that this was just this beautiful side street that, you know, wound around. And now I couldn't think of my life without it. Without this time, you know, this Broadway time, as I call it. So next year the album will be out, and there will be another, you know, rung in my ladder, I guess, and we'll see what happens.
You and Adam share that pop music.
Yeah, we do. He's more of a rocker, I think, than I am. I'm more like in pop and R&B, but we do share that outside love that, you know, we both are. I think recording artists, we want to be recording artists, you know, at first, and that Broadway was just, you know, a wonderful addition to that.
Is there anybody in the program tonight that is particularly exciting for you to be able to be performing with?
Well, Miss Andrews is on my floor, and the first movie I ever saw in Trinidad was The Sound of Music. And I think at that point, we were also very exposed to Indian movies, and Indian movies have a lot of music in them. So the first time I saw this movie and saw music in it, I thought, oh, all movies have music. And so I know every song, and I still watch Sound of Music today and cry whenever she sings, "Nothing comes from nothing." So I just saw it just now, I was like, I love you so much. So that's going to be a pleasure for me to be on her floor and just talk to her and be on the program with her. I'm looking forward to that.
With a blink of an eye, it'll all be over.
Yes.
Was there ever a song that you had to sing that you really didn't like singing, and yet you had to continue singing it, and you sort of grew to dislike it more and more?
I'm sure there was a song that I was not maybe crazy about at first, but I think it's almost like a person. You know, there's some people that you have to work with that you may not like all that much, but you say, I have to tolerate this and make the best of that person, and so you get a way to work around it. And to find the beauty of it. But I remember, I think there were some songs, I think, really early on, like in my life, and, you know, when you're a child, or like at Northwestern, when you had to sing one of those arias, and you're like, I don't really enjoy this, but you find a joy in it. So yeah, I'm most definitely sure of that.
The title of this show is My Favorite Broadway, The Love Songs.
Yes.
Just wondering if there are any moments, if there is any one particular moment in a love scene or during a love song that comes to mind as having been particularly monumental or perhaps disastrous, either end of the spectrum?
Oh, for me personally on
mhm.
stage, I think besides all the stuff we have to do in Aida, which is very intense and love worthy, I would say. I remember in high school, playing Fanny Bryce. I call myself the first black Jewish Fanny Bryce. So that was me in high school. But I remember all those beautiful songs like "Who Are You Now" and "Music That Makes Me Dance," and songs from Camelot that we did. If ever I would leave you, those songs that still you want to sing today. I personally think that with music, it's when I can't speak anymore, I'll sing. I mean, sometimes I think if I could sing these interviews, it would be easier for me, and so therefore there are these beautiful songs that I think the only way you can tell somebody how you really feel is sometimes to sing it, and I think some of those songs are in Camelot and in Funny Girl and those types of music and in Sound of Music. I mean, there's this, the beautiful song of "Nothing Comes from Nothing." No, so I must,
Simple.
perhaps I had a wicked childhood, but somewhere along the line I must have done something good because I have you, And I mean, if you say that to someone, you're cliche, but you sing it and it just becomes this whole different, beautiful meaning. So I do. I mean, if I have to sing something to my loved ones or something, I'd rather sing that. So I think tonight's going to be great to listen to all these beautiful songs, and I'll have a few other lines to tell somebody later
Speaking
on.
of Camelot, did you ever think you'd have the opportunity to meet Robert Goulet?
No, I didn't really think. It's so many times you're thinking I won't have the opportunity to meet Julie Andrews and Robert Goulet and Chita Rivera, and they're all downstairs. So I have to go to each room and go, "Hello, I just wanted to say hi." So it's going to be quite an interesting night, isn't it? I'm going to be like a little kid in a candy store around all these the veterans of the theater, and hopefully I'll sit there and learn some more from them. I pray.
I'm sure you will. What are some of the most common misconceptions that people may have about the theater and Broadway performers?
I think sometimes, I'm figuring out now, sometimes the misconception is that sometimes we cannot do anything else. That we're Broadway, and I think with my album, hopefully I'll show that that's different, and Adam has as well. That sometimes they think, well, you do this Broadway thing, and your voices are so big that maybe sometimes you can't be intimate, and that's what I'd like to show people. I think I know that we have a different type of discipline. It's tough to go up there every time and do 8 shows a week and be well and sing ill and not. Marion was just telling me that she threw her back out sometime over the week and did the show. And the audience sometimes doesn't even know that we're up there ill or not feeling very well.
Go on.
The show goes on, and with you many times. Sometimes you wish you could stay home because your voice isn't well or you've got the worst headache of your life, but it goes on with you. So I would think that hopefully the misconception is not that we don't work hard, because sometimes people think, oh, well, you do the same show every night, but that's harder than doing a different show every day. That sometimes is more difficult. But I think for the most part we get a lot of respect. I know we do, because that's why I think people continue to come to the theater and people continue to buy these things, from PBS and listen to our music. And Broadway hasn't died in how many years? Since we've started, people have always been there, so I think they know.
Well, speaking of PBS,
Yes.
since you brought it up, we love the topic. You're a New Yorker.
Now I am, yes.
And I'm hoping that you spend some time watching Channel 13.
I do.
What kinds of programs do you enjoy?
Last year I was addicted to ladies, my favorite, the divas.
Right.
When they all did it. So I watched that continuously. I've seen some beautiful, I love all the nature shows. And I am addicted to Sesame Street. So, and in love with Elmo. So I just did something with them. So I grew up on Sesame Street, and pretty much PBS is where you're going to find Sesame Street many, many times. So I always watch it. I was thinking the other day that's the show that taught me to count and taught me to believe that puppets existed, and that I could sing with them and to work, you know, to interact with things on stage and stuff like that. So it is funny that the public, you know, broadcasting helped me do that.
When you were growing up, did you have any good musical experiences watching Channel 13 public television?
I think, you know, when I came into the States, that's when I was exposed to PBS at that point. And it was, you know, seeing, I know many times they show musicals on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
I know recently Nathan's show, Man Came to Dinner, was on. And that's like an experience too, to see those. There are a lot of people, I believe, in many parts of the country who won't get a chance to see us on Broadway. And many times won't get a chance to see many shows on Broadway or know what we do on Broadway. Because, you know, I'm very happy to say I'm in a show that may last for a while, but there are others that don't. And so therefore this is an opportunity to expose this side of Broadway to them. You know, with a movie it goes around the country, but many times with Broadway we're
They
in New
have to
York,
come to you.
exclusive, yeah. So if you don't have that time, it's good to be able to have these shows, to see Nathan and to see Miss Rivera and Miss Andrews and Mr. Goulet, you know, because he may not be in Wichita, Kansas next week.
Right.
So this is a great opportunity to get to see him on that level. So it's a nice, exclusive, kind of wonderful thing. And also, it's wonderful that it's going to be on tape that, you know, you can show your grandchildren in years to come. If they wanted to know what was Heather Headley doing in 2000, you can say, well, this. So, you know, it's wonderful. So it has impacted my life. PBS has.
So before I let you go, just
Yeah.
speak to our viewers and tell them why you think it's important to support what we do here at Channel 13.
Well, I believe that Channel 13 is going to provide you with not only a wonderful experience from the theater, that you can learn about theater experiences and these wonderful Broadway performers that you will see, some of who do not have shows right now on Broadway, but will come back for these events. Amazing performers that, you know, I'm also going to get this tape. But I think PBS is also going to provide you with these wonderful shows like Sesame Street for those addicted to it, and other shows that you can enjoy. So it's important that you try to call in and give donations and keep them on air, because many times other shows will not be able to show it to you in this way without commercial and as extensive as it's going to be. So I think it's a wonderful program for you to be a part of, and a wonderful thing to donate your money to, I believe. That you'll be able to help children, you know, to understand about life and in that sense for the Children's Network, and also for other things, for Broadway and other wonderful programming that you will. So I hope that you will pick up the phone and call and help and give a donation to PBS. I hope.
Thank you, Heather
Anytime.
Headley. That was terrific.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
I hope.
Look forward to tonight.